Now, the only thing we don't have in here is our sugar. I need a half a cup of sugar. And I have a half cup measure here, yes I do. Because it calls for 8 tablespoons, you know that's a half a cup. Throw that in there. Okay, now olive oil. That's another thing that's such a check. Yeah, where's my olive oil? Right here. Just use this.
No, that's not. Oh, I see.
That's way down at the bottom.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Okay. Ever used avocado?
In bread? No.
Oil?
Olive oil, yes.
No, avocado oil.
No.
It's good.
Is it? It's a little crazy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have to be careful. Keep my food costs down. Now, olive oil. Love it. Love it. It's good for your heart. Throw some in there. Okay? You don't have to worry about it. This is what you're going to see. Okay, so we're going to throw some more flour in there. And if you ask me how much is it, when I first opened this restaurant, I about killed myself. I made all the breads. And good thing I only had one at that time. I was working from 5 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and I was never caught up. And the reason is because I had never written down the recipe. And I made up these breads over the years, and so I was in a pickle. So I had to actually pay attention as I was putting bread together one time and write down recipes, and then I taught my cooks how to make bread. Well, it takes a while. I mean, it's to teach stuff like that. But I'll tell you what, they can almost all of them can do it. They're all, the ones that can't, they're learning it. And
Hard to write down recipes. No.
the thing is it made my life so much easier. And that's why I teach bread classes, because I believe in empowerment. I don't believe that any of you are here because you're too stupid to cook. Okay? I don't believe that for a minute. I believe that if the more skills, I'm a happier person now than I was when I was 20 years old. Because I've developed life skills. You know what I mean? I've taken the time to learn and grow. And that's what makes us happy. You know what I mean? There's a saying, when you've got the bod, you don't have the brains. By the time you got the brains, you don't have the bod anymore. It's the truth. So, but anyway, we want a little more flour in there. Okay, so look at this bread. Okay, do you remember we talked about this bread here? This bread, if you lay your hands on it, you're going to feel more life in it than you did before. Actually feel it. Isn't that incredible? I'll get out of the way. I can feel it all day. So, okay, there we go. I need a little more because it's still a little too loose. Now, if you were doing a milk bread, look in there. You're pretty close. If you were doing a milk bread, that's about what you want it to look like. Maybe a little more. That's good. Okay. Yeah. I hate these safety shit. Just hate it.
I call my hand in line.
Yeah, you learn anything?
Paying attention and it slipped on his building.
Oh yeah, it could break your arm.
I thought it did.
Yeah. Okay, if you were, look at this. This is, if you were doing a milk bread, this is what you want it to look like. Let me get out of the way. Get over there.
Milk bread is
Well, the shiny actually comes after the first rise. It's an amazing thing. Wait till you, because we all felt this bread before, remember?
like milk bread would be cinnamon, right? So
Yes, your cinnamon
if
roll.
I put as much past this as what the cinnamon rolls are for.
Exactly. There's a cinnamon roll recipe, and they're my favorite cinnamon rolls. They're the best cinnamon rolls in the world. And she was the sweetest lady that ever walked this earth. So we're going to throw more in there.
Am I going to miss something if I really don't say my cinnamon?
No, have it. Have it. No, but this is, we're basically ready to pull this loaf. Okay. Little more. That cinnamon roll recipe in there, you follow that one to the T. Actually measure it. That's Brianna's recipe, and they're filler. And it will feel too wet.
Sam was talking about them the other day.
Oh, man, they're amazing. But when you first pull that loaf, when you first pull that dough, you're going to think, ooh, I should put the flour in there. Resist the urge. That is a perfect recipe.
Can I ask what's scalded milk?
Oh,
I've done it,
I
but
just
I think I'm
learned about this. No, I just learned about this. You can do it in your microwave. You want the warmth of the milk to heat up your Crisco.
So
Okay?
it'll melt it.
So it'll melt it.
Do you use Crisco or do you use what?
I I use or a vegetable shortening. You can use butter. Butter will work. Okay. I just learned why do all of these old recipes call for scalded milk. A home ec teacher told me this at my last bread class last week. It's because they didn't pasteurize the milk in those days.
So we don't scald it now?
Well, you'll want it warm in that particular recipe. Yeah, but you don't need to heat up your milk nowadays. Isn't that amazing? I never knew. I just always did it when I called for it, and I had no idea. Okay, so.
Does that make a difference when they say unsalted or salted butter? Because I'm always adding salt, so I
Yeah, not in your bread, it's not gonna make a difference. Now let's check our recipe. We have everything in there. We put our potatoes, our butter, our yeast, our buttermilk, we got our eggs, we got our sugar, we got our salt, we got our olive oil, and we got our rosemary. We're there, okay? So all we're waiting for is to add a little more flour. Keep in mind, it'll basically clean the side of your bowl, but it's not gonna climb your hook. That's what you're looking for. There we go, it's perfect. Go ahead and take a peek. It's gonna look a little different in a minute. Go ahead and look in the bowl and you'll see what we're looking for. Okay. Now, we're gonna make room for the next bread. You see it? Yeah. Now, this is a beautiful loaf.
I saw you took a test of bread. It looks
More
like
flour,
butter
putting
in
in
your process because you know the test nice.
That's what you're learning now. You do not want to follow a recipe exactly for the most part. The reason is I was telling them, you cannot judge the humidity in the air. Less flour is better in your breads. Okay, we're there. Now this is a little wet, a little bit more. Only to make it easier to pull out. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's a nice thing. So, and this will all go in together. Pull our hook, comes out a little bit sticky, but that's okay. We can always add a little more flour. You can add that in afterwards, no big deal. All right, now, I've got this right here. So then all we do is pull that out of there, okay? Now this is about ready. It'll tell you to wait for it to be doubled in size, is what your cookbooks will tell you. That's kind of a nice general rule, but it doesn't mean you have to follow it, okay? Sometimes you're in a hurry, okay? If you like I like a bread that is a nice crust. I like a chewy or like an artisan crust. If you do, and this is such a cool thing, is slide this over here. If you do, keep a spray bottle, like a plain mister, with a teaspoon of vinegar, and then fill it up with water and just keep it in your pantry. When you get your bread in your oven, what you can do is make sure it's in there about 10 minutes in your preheated oven. After 10 minutes, you're going to slowly, carefully open your oven door. You're going to spray your oven walls 2 or 3 times. Slowly, carefully close your door. You will not believe what it does to your crust. It's incredible. Let me check my time.